More moves are coming for the New York Knicks as following a trade deadline where they acquired DeLon Wright and Hugo Bassan in a trade, now a new report has revealed that more moves are coming for the New York Knicks over the buyout market, and this could be a little bit more interesting than Knicks fans may have previously thought, as there has been the one name that's been showing up a lot, but there's two other guys who now the New York Knicks have been connected to also according to multiple different reports, and we're going to break all that down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and if you're part of that 67% who's not subscribed to videos and you want daily New York Knicks news, rumor reports, updates, a bunch of fun stuff, this is the place to be for all Knicks news. Make sure to subscribe, but let's jump into it because the New York Knicks, headed by none other than Leon Rose. Where's he at? There's he at. Leon Rose and the New York Knicks are doing their due diligence in the buyout market as the NBA is coming down the stretch. It's the All-Star break right now, which is where the Knicks front office is going to sit back and plan out their move for March 1st when they make a signing. Now, many fans have thought the same thing, myself included, for a while now, but now there's a ton of reports that there's multiple names that the New York Knicks are targeting in that buyout market. The number one guy who all of us have heard of before, so we're not really going to talk about him a bunch, is TJ Warren. TJ Warren's been balling out in the Westchester Knicks G League team and definitely deserves a look and very well could get that spot. He's been who I thought for a while is going to get the spot, but as I said, now a bunch of new reports have come out and there's a lot of people thinking that, well, a lot of Knicks insiders thinking that this could be someone that we don't see coming whatsoever who could have a huge impact on the team as two new names have emerged for the New York Knicks. Now, taking a look into this, the first thing mentioned is by Ian Begley, who said if the Knicks team salary remains the same, they could sign a veteran like TJ Warren of the Westchester Knicks or a free agent like Chris Duarte as soon as March 1st, when the prorated veteran minimum salary will allow the New York Knicks to sign another player. It's only $500,000 away from the vet minimum, but they can sign Chris Duarte, and Chris Duarte, who I just showed there for another reason, is because there's a lot of stuff the Knicks can do with Duarte, and the Knicks, if you remember, back when they drafted Obi Toppin, they had a lot of interest in drafting Chris Duarte. He was NBA ready, he was an elite shooter, the Knicks needed both of those things in that draft, and well, they ended up going with Obi, as they did figure they were going to trade Julius Randle, a little bit sooner than the 3 years later that they ended up trading Julius. But then Julius obviously balled out. The Knicks timeline changed. They signed Jalen Brunson. Everything worked out for the best. The Knicks are great now. But they only have 14 guys on this roster, and they desperately could use another piece that could help them over the hump, especially when considering they don't have a ton of forwards on their team. They have a bunch of big men. They have a bunch of guards. They don't have a bunch of forwards. They don't have a bunch of guys who could play the small forward position, who could play the power forward position. They have a bunch of wings. But that bigger forward, they only have OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. And Mikal Bridges is really playing more the two guard while Josh Hart plays the three. And we have OG at the 4. The positions aren't real, especially with a 5-out team like the New York Knicks. We know that Brunson's the point guard, Towns is the center, and then they just have 3 other guys who fit the team very well. Now, while there's a bunch of injuries happening to OG Anunoby and obviously Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart's dealing with an injury, there's going to be a lot of thoughts out there on what the Knicks should do over this buyout market. There's going to be a few guys who are taken who the Knicks can't stop because, well, frankly, they can't get a guy till March 1st and other teams can. However, there's also the fact that they can't pay anyone, they can't sign anyone who got bought out off more than a $12.9 million contract because the Knicks are over the first apron, meaning they can't sign someone who makes the league's mid-level exception or above, which is $12.9 million. It's why a guy like Ben Simmons, who signed with the Clippers, or Bojan Bogdanovic, who's going to get bought out off the Nets, it's why guys like that won't end up on the New York Knicks, because the Knicks are not legally allowed to sign them. However, anyone under that amount, or a free agent already, or maybe not even on an NBA team and on overseas, could certainly be a target for the New York Knicks. Now, we've heard about Chris Duarte now for a little bit, and Duarte's a very interesting thought. As I said, the New York Knicks did have a lot of interest in Chris Duarte and potentially bringing him onto the team. Now, taking a look at Duarte's numbers, the man, he did struggle last season. He put up, or this season with the Chicago Bulls, he put up 2 points per game and 1 rebound in limited minutes, but he did shoot 40% from three-point range. He can't really play good defense, and he is 6'6", which is something the Knicks could use. They could use that corner three-point shooting as well. They could just use the fact that he is a good shooter to their advantage. He was really, really good in his rookie year, but things just kind of took a turn for the worse. He ended up getting traded to Sacramento, where he was in and out and mainly out of the rotation, which definitely didn't help him at all, especially when you're a shooter. Things are so mental, and Chris Duarte ended up kind of getting like just a bad draw of things, and he's already 27 years old, which makes his time kind of short. But the Knicks, they don't care about age. They care about winning an NBA championship in the next 4 years, counting this season, and the Knicks are the 3rd seed right now. I know that vibes around the New York Knicks right now are kind of weird because it feels like we can't beat the best teams in the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, but we've also seen the Knicks demolish the Denver Nuggets, who I genuinely would not be surprised at all if they win the NBA Finals again. They have Nikola Jokic, who's the best player in the NBA. I think they could handle the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think they'd be the underdogs, but I think they could beat the Thunder. I don't think the Thunder are an unbeatable force, and I think that the Nuggets could beat either the Celtics or the Cleveland Cavaliers as well. So I think we're just looking at things and getting really worried about specific seeding and stuff, especially when it regards to the fact that the Knicks are probably going to have to play Celtics in the second round, which definitely is going to be a very, very uphill battle, and the Knicks are going to need more help to get it done. Now, bringing in Mitchell Robinson once he comes back from injury is going to be huge, and I did record a video on Mitchell Robinson that you guys also saw, which is him working out, getting there, showing a little more facets to his game, but I did do a whole video on that, so if you like that, or if you want to hear more about it and you didn't see that video, make sure to check that one out. It came out right before this video. Fun fact, though, I'm actually filming this video before I filmed that Mitchell Robinson video. But that's a little just insider information in case you guys are curious. But look, taking a look at things, it's an interesting idea to go for Chris Duarte. I'm not the biggest fan of it personally. I'd rather TJ Warren for the two guys that Ian Begley linked the Knicks to, because Warren's putting up 25 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game in the G League, shooting 35% from 3 and around 50% from the field. Good numbers. Not the best defender at all, but he is a good scorer. He gives the Knicks a scoring punch off the bench, which would help with what they need. But again, we've talked about TJ Warren a bunch, and this is far from the last, and we'll talk about TJ Warren. And I don't want to keep regurgitating the same words over the same players all to you guys. I want to make these videos as interesting as possible. So long story short, if they sign TJ Warren, I won't be upset. But that's really all we're going to say on that matter. If you guys want more TJ Warren content, leave a comment down below. I'll make sure to make another video on him. I'm happy to. However, there's another guy in Lonnie Walker Jr., who's a career 10-point per game scorer, 2 rebounds a game, and 1.5 assists while shooting 35.6% from 3 for his career, and a solid defender as well. Lonnie Walker is someone who the New York Knicks also have been linked to by Tommy Beer. Now, Sports Illustrated also mentioned this, but Tommy Beer did mention, for those asking about potential names the Knicks could target in the buyout market, here are some players who may be waived and could be of interest to New York, and Lonnie Walker is included on that list. Lonnie Walker is a little bit different. He wouldn't have to be waived. Lonnie Walker does not play in the NBA right now. For some reason, Walker didn't get signed by anyone but the Boston Celtics to a training camp deal, who evidently ended up waiving him. And then he ended up playing overseas, which is very strange because Lonnie Walker's he's clearly an NBA talent. So I find it very strange that there's just been no interest in Lonnie Walker all season for teams to pick him up. He's just a good player. He's a good athlete. He could play the 2 or the 3. He's a solid defender for the athlete and shooter that he is. We saw him on the Los Angeles Lakers, put very good minutes in for the team. And I mean, it worked. He was one of the big reasons why the Lakers won in 6 against the Golden State Warriors back in 2020. Was that 2023? Yeah, it's 2023. In the 2023 playoffs, when the Lakers went to the conference finals and got smacked around by the Nuggets, Lonnie Walker was a massive part of that team. Then got very little interest, ended up signing with the Brooklyn Nets, and played fine there, but he was in and out of the rotation way more. His minutes went down for some reason, even though his production went up. It was very strange. It feels like Lonnie, similar to Chris Duarte, just got kind of a bad draw of things. Now, Lonnie, as we mentioned, career 10-point per game scorer, and he's had his ups and downs for sure. We've seen seasons where he's shooting over 40% from 3. We saw that with the Spurs. He got close with the Lakers as well. With the Brooklyn Nets, he was a fine player also, though the role was different. And Lonnie Walker's someone who belongs on a winning team. He's a winning player. He doesn't belong on a team like that Brooklyn Nets team that was not good. He belongs on a team that's going to win games. That's what is really the best situation for Lonnie Walker. And also, there is a connection here. Lonnie Walker and Mikal Bridges were teammates on the Brooklyn Nets, and the Knicks love to bring in teammates of players on the Knicks, like former teammates and stuff, so there's already built-in chemistry. The Knicks have done this with everything they've done. I mean, they brought in Rick Brunson with Jalen Brunson, and they brought in Rick Brunson to help out with Tom Thibodeau, who Tibbs is close with. The Knicks obviously had that Kentucky connection going. They had the Nova Knicks going, which they still do have. They still do have 3 of them. I just miss Dante, man. I really do. How could you not miss Dante? I mean, I had this shirt. I literally had this shirt made of our Nova Knicks, man. I never got to wear it anywhere. I've worn it in a few videos, but look at this, man. I'm going to make the screen bigger because I'm sad, man. It's such a cool shirt, dude. It meant something to me, man. It really did. I wish Dante was still there. The Knicks could desperately use the ability of Dante DiVincenzo right now, dude. They totally could. It would be so helpful for this team. But where the New York Knicks stand now, things are good. I mean, they definitely need another piece, and they're going to get one in the buyout market. And I would love Lonnie Walker, honestly. I think Lonnie Walker's a good extension of this team, would play hard, really, really hard, because now he knows what he has to prove to stay in the NBA, and he wants to be on a winning team. Lonnie is best on winning teams. Putting him on a team that doesn't win games doesn't make sense, because he's going to lead to wins with the athleticism, the defense, the scoring. Lonnie Walker is just a plus player. He's just someone that it absolutely baffles me that he has been out of the NBA now. This is a good NBA career, and he just basically got cut off, which is so strange to me. But on top of that, we look at Lonnie Walker in the playoffs. He played well there as well. In that 1 year where he actually got minutes in the playoffs, the first time around with the Spurs, he didn't really get any minutes. That was the DeMar DeRozan year, where the Spurs ended up losing fairly quickly. But that's beside the point, and a story for a different day. Now, Lonnie overseas is putting up 13.6 points per game. He's putting up 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Solid player for sure. Decent three-point numbers, nothing special. 33%, 45% from the field. The numbers don't jump out at you, but it just feels like, again, he's a player who's made for the NBA style. The fast-paced style just makes more sense than a slower half-court game. The Knicks could definitely use some pace in that bench unit. Especially you could play him with Mikal Bridges. Mikal and Lonnie know each other well. You can put Cameron Payne out there. You have some chemistry already built in there, so that would be huge for the Knicks as well. I think this is an excellent move for the New York Knicks. I think Lonnie Walker or TJ Warren are the guys that you look for, and we know Lonnie can perform in the playoffs, just to know TJ can if it's in the bubble, but can he perform outside of there? That's the question. Can Lonnie? Absolutely. I think the Knicks should take a good, long, hard look at Lonnie Walker, and hopefully, he is available on March 1st, and the Knicks will definitely consider going for him. I'll tell you right now, I know for a fact he's on the Knicks' radar. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Who do you want the Knicks to pick up on March 1st? Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.